Welcome back to the Daily Meditation with me, meditation teacher Paul Harrison. Today, I'm going to be discussing a very positive topic, which is gratitude. But more specifically, I'm going to discuss the Buddhist concept of gratitude, which is called Kansha. Indeed, the Japanese word Kansha means gratitude and appreciation. Specifically, Kansha means gratitude for the entirety of our existence. Now that's kind of different to how you and I tend to think about gratitude in the West. Generally, when we think about gratitude, we mean that we're grateful for specific things. For instance, I'm very grateful for my family. I'm very grateful for my 3 beautiful cats. And I'm grateful for my body, which, other than being a few pounds too heavy at the moment, is pretty healthy. So when in the West we talk about gratitude, we tend to mean gratitude for specific things that we qualify as being good. For instance, it's good to have a family, it's good to have a job, it's good to have, in my opinion, it's good to have cats. And so we qualify what we're grateful for by considering whether we judge it as good or as bad. Now, here is where the Buddhist concept of Kansha differentiates from our Western concept of gratitude. So Kansha, the Buddhist concept of gratitude, means gratitude for all things, for the entirety of our existence. There is no good or bad. There is simply a recognition of the fact that this thing called life, this present moment, is a miracle and that we are grateful for it. So, again, the primary difference with Buddhist Kansha is that it is gratitude for the entirety of existence. Now, why does that matter? Why does it matter that we be grateful for everything instead of being grateful for this and that and not grateful for, for other things? Well, it matters because we have to recognize that our entirety, our existence on this world, in this world, the world itself, the cosmos, the present moment, this entire cosmic dance of existence is a miracle. We have to recognize that miracle, and then we move beyond good and bad. We move beyond right and wrong. We recognize, for instance, if something bad happens to you, you recognize, okay, this seems bad now, but this is one part of this entire miraculous thing called life. Now, when you do that, when you're able to be grateful not just for this and that, and not grateful for other things, when you move beyond that, and when you're just grateful for everything, it actually reduces an awful lot of stress in your life. Because let's say, for instance, you go through something bad. Let's say you lose your job. Typically in the West, if we lose our job, we're going to think, oh, well, that's a really bad thing. Therefore, I'm pretty depressed, maybe angry, possibly anxious and stressed. And so I'm experiencing really negative emotions because I've been through an event that I consider to be negative. Now compare that to Kansha. Kansha would say, okay, this losing my job isn't something that I wanted to happen in particular, but it's part of this entire existence of life. It's part of this story of me, this story of this world. It's part of this cosmic dance of the universe. And so losing my job is in itself a miracle because it is part of this entire magical thing called reality. And so can you see how the idea of Kansha, the idea of being grateful for every single thing, for the entirety of our existence, it really moves us beyond this idea of good and bad and to the recognition that actually it's a miracle that we're alive. Anything that happens to us, therefore, is a miracle. Now, I just want to mention one Buddhist story here, which is a great story. So in Buddhism, there is a story called the blind sea turtle. Now, in the story of the blind sea turtle, Buddha essentially says that okay, imagine that there is an ocean. In the ocean, floating on top of the ocean is a bucket. Somewhere in the vast ocean, there's just a bucket floating on the waves. In the ocean, there's a blind sea turtle. Now, this blind sea turtle only comes up to breathe one time in 100 years. Now, Buddha says the odds on us having been born as a human are equivalent to the odds of that blind sea turtle rising one time in this entire ocean out of the one time, the 100 years that the blind sea turtle does that, and happening to find the bucket. That is the odds on us being alive, which is true if you think about it. I mean, what are the odds that I happen to have been born and happen to be living a human life? It's a gift. I didn't ask for it. I didn't do anything to deserve to be born a human being. I didn't do anything to create my own life. The whole thing is a gift and a miracle. And we should recognize that miracle. Now, I just want to touch on the health benefits of Kansha for just one moment, and then I'm going to explain a really good kind of meditative exercise that you can do to experience Kansha today. So, the health benefits of gratitude have been studied so much. Just being grateful in general is one of the 24 strengths of character of one of the 24 character strengths of positive psychology. It's been proven, to increase our lifespan, to reduce the risk of mental health disorders, and to make us healthier. And beyond that, it just feels good to be grateful, doesn't it? The more grateful you are, the happier and healthier you'll be. And there are lots of ways to be grateful, lots of ways in which you can cultivate gratitude. For instance, you can keep a gratitude journal. You can take mindful moments just to remember the fact that your moment in your life is a miracle, that you're alive, that you get to experience this human existence. To be grateful for that, just take mindful moments to stop and say, wow, I get to live this moment, and this moment is a miracle. I also like to list. I'll make a huge list of 100 things that I'm grateful for, and so on. So there's lots of ways to cultivate gratitude. However, I would like to just explain one meditation technique that you can use to develop Kansha and gratitude. So as per normal, which you're going to want to make sure that you're sitting with good posture, spine nice and straight, tuck your chin down just a little bit. And then for gratitude, we want to use Anjali Mudra. Now, Anjali Mudra is basically prayer hands. So, the palms of your hands flat together in a steeple. I'm sure you all are aware of prayer hands. And so that is also goes by the name Anjali Mudra. And this is a great mudra for, well, it does many things. It balances the brain hemispheres. You can actually feel, just doing this now, I can actually feel that I feel more kind of balanced and grounded. But for our gratitude session, we do this to connect to the divine. Holding our hands in Anjali Mudra in prayer position, it makes us feel more connected to the divine. That's actually why it's used, in churches and in things like that. So, do Anjali Mudra, and then before you get into the proper exercise, I would recommend that you take sort of, 10 to 20 just mindful breaths with your eyes closed. And then the only thing that we want to do after that is to start to recite the mantra, this moment is a miracle. This moment is a miracle. And then as you do that, as you recite that mantra, this moment is a miracle. You're going to investigate the present moment with your mind and investigate the evidence that this moment is a miracle. There's so much evidence that proves that every moment of our lives is a miracle. There are trillions of cells that go into creating your body. That's a miracle. There's an entire universe of which we're just a tiny little speck in a huge universe. That's a miracle. And if you need any more evidence, there's cats. That's a miracle. And so there's so much evidence that life is a miracle. And we should recognize, we should step outside of our regular day-to-day drool, and we should just say, you know what? This entirety, this everything, this thing called life, this thing called the universe, this cosmic dance of existence, that's a bloody miracle. And when we realize that, we won't have any choice but to be grateful for being alive. And so that is Kansha. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Paul Harrison. If you would like to book a private meditation lesson with me, you may do so on thedailymeditation.com. Remember to subscribe, and if you happen to like the video, I would be grateful for that. Until next time, have a blessed day, and always remember how much of a miracle it is just to be alive.